Because representation matters, right? And I think as an enrolled member of the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa, that I've never seen anybody like me running for the city commission or even holding a position of power in the city I live in, and that's why I'm running. I think what it made me want to run because I thought I have a better chance of actually getting in there and making a difference, and because because you can vote for who you want. I do support adding seats to the commission. I think the more voices we have, the more diverse a board we have, the better off we would be. I think that's one of those things that you would have to bring to the community to say, if we decided we wanted to have districts or wards like Moorhead has, then maybe you have one for each one of those, so that each voice is heard in those areas of the city we live in, which I think is what's lacking right now, is that there's only 4 city commissioners and a mayor. That's not enough people to give the voice for the city. That's a good question. I think it should, because our population is growing. You see everywhere you go more and more people, right? So it only makes sense that that's how it should work. Yeah. Yes, I do think it's important that we think about something like that. I think that some of the areas in our neighborhoods don't have a voice. They're not being heard because it's so big. Our town is huge. Look at all of the growth past 32nd. People used to say it was a farm field, or past 52nd. And now I know personally, I was just pouring a road between Horace and Fargo, where it's pretty much Horace Fargo, So yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think that would have to be a population issue, who lives within those neighborhoods, how many density wise, so that you distribute it equally amongst the people. So that if you say, so that you have a number of people, X number of people have a voice, right? So that there's enough people representing enough number of people. So oversight, right? That's the key. It's oversight, accountability, honesty, to say, before they just draw lines somewhere, where are these lines going to be at? Sure, well, I guess that comes back to accountability and oversight, right? To make sure stuff like that doesn't happen, and to bring it back to our city to say, how do you see this? How do you want this to be? Because I might not have all the answers for every question, but I definitely want to bring the people together that do. I think that's a good question, because I think that there are so many conflicts of interest that don't get disclosed properly. And I think accountability is everything, and honesty and openness. And as a working class person, I would want that in the person that's running for office, because honesty is the most important thing. But I don't think that we can just expect them to all be honest politicians. I think it would have to be some kind of like an oversight committee. It's just unethical the way it comes down to it. Because if you can benefit from something that you can vote on, or something that has a direct hand in the city, then you shouldn't be invested in that while you're a voice for those people. No. I think it needs to be at a different time or more accessible. Like, who wants to have a meeting on a Monday? Nobody shows up to them. Nobody's paying attention to them. It should be different. It should be a different time. That time, I don't know what would be, but 5 o'clock seems like not the right time. People are just getting off of work. So if you want some people, professional people are getting off at 5. Some people might just be going to work. Like, how do you find the middle ground for that? Who would be able to, have their voice heard by the commission is important, not just having meetings for the sake of a meeting. I do. Yeah, I think it's important, and I think it's important that we revisit what that means, because term limits are important to get things fresh eyes on and fresh perspective on issues that we have, and to keep things moving progressively. I do think they should be thought of more as a full-time job. All the commissioners that you talk to now do it like a full-time job, but also have full-time jobs. And as a working class professional, I know it holds me back to think that I'll only make X amount of money when, as a professional, I will make double or triple of that in my income. And so I think there needs to be a balance there. I do think they should be compensated for their time. As a person who is on the Native American Commission, my time was so valuable, and I don't think that people appreciate that. And also, I lost time in wages and money to be of service, and I was glad to do it, but if I got compensated, I think I'd feel a little bit better. I don't know about strict spending limits, but I think there should be some oversight in spending and how that we take it in. There is none really as far as campaign contributions and how you spend your money and who you get your money from. There's no oversight really at all unless you, get more than $200. So anything under $200, it's like it could be whatever. It seems a little bit questionable that people could literally bend the rules to make it work for themselves. So again, I think oversight is important in something like that. I think that really where we need to be is with the youth. So ultimately, civic engagement needs to start at a younger age. We need to be talking about kids in school, what that means more. And that means like K through 12, college kids. We need to get the youth more involved because they are our future, right? I think that it's important that we work with those partnerships and make that work for us. Yes, I do think it's important that cities have their own rights and rules and laws, and we should be able to pass those. But I think it's finding the common ground. I'm on Facebook at Friends of Anna Johnson, and my website is annaforfargo.com.